All right, so what do you do with the design?
Well, right now I'm making kind of a sun shape, which is one of the traditional signs. So I'm just using a pencil, right? And
You
then
originally divided it off into
yeah,
sections.
so there's like, you can see from the top, there's 8 lines going around, and they also have, there's also a line that kind of goes from here to here, so
On
on a diagonal, and the same on the other side, and all the way around. Like, so there's the equivalent of 4 sets of those lines as well.
Okay, so what are you doing now?
Well, I'm using, they call these, what do they call these? They're not
Kitskas.
Kitska. It's a stylus, Kitska. And it's a little metal thing, and you put it in a candle and heat it up, and then you take some beeswax and you put it in a little cup. There's a hole on the end, and you take the wax and you write the wax on the where you want whatever color you're currently working with, white since I've got a bare egg, to be on the egg.
And you're wearing rubber gloves for the first time ever.
Yeah, I'm doing the rubber gloves because it's actually,
working?
it seems fine, yeah. Because what happens is if you get your fingerprints on the egg, it makes it harder for the dye to stick.
Gets blotchy.
And it gets blotchy. And I thought that I would give this a try. And it's fine. I mean, it would be nice if the gloves were a little bit more tighter.
Yeah.
But they're fine, actually. I don't have a problem with it at all. And
I find that when you first heat it up,
yeah, when you get
it comes out
thicker.
really fast, and then sometimes you get blotches.
Yeah, I actually, can you see on the corner of that towel? I actually wiped it off when I first filled it up.
Yeah, I usually do that too.
Because I knew that would happen.
Yeah. So you're just doing the outline lines?
Yeah, right now I'm doing these lines.
I didn't do the outline lines on mine at all this time.
Yeah, I debated whether I was going to, and I decided that I kind of wanted those 40 triangles, whatever,
Right. Oh yeah, that's
to show
right,
up.
That's part of your design.
Yeah.
The dyes are come in packets for about $2 a piece. You can get them online from several Ukrainian craft sites, and you mix them with half a cup of water and a couple of tablespoons of white vinegar, which activates all of them except the orange one. And you also have a jar of vinegar and water that you use to wash off the eggshells to make sure that the fingerprints are off them, or any egg that might get stuck on them at some time. And then the egg, after you have put the wax on it to block off any one particular color, you put it into the next color and let it sit for a couple of minutes. So the egg will stay in the dye for a minute or two until it picks up enough of the dye to have a good strong color. With the pink it takes pretty fast, so you don't have to wait very long. That comes out to dry it off with a paper towel or a Kleenex, and then you proceed to the next color that you want to block, which in this case will be all hot pink. You want to talk about this?
Oh, well, oh yeah, so that's my egg that I was working on before. And it's all done. And you can see I've taken the wax off and everything. And there are, let's see, there's baskets, which are the filled triangles, and there are horns, ram's horns, and a sun, and a pinwheel, which can also be seen as the sun on the top. And then the crenellations, everything I put on it has some sort of meaning, but I don't actually always remember what the meaning was. I just sort of picked and choose things that I thought were.
So what are you working on now?
I've decided to do one that's kind of adobe color. So right now, because I'm going to put a turquoise green on top of it, I am actually painting on the red, and then the turquoise will go next.
How did you paint it on?
I actually used like a toothpick, well, not a toothpick, skewer, and I dipped it in the ink and painted it on, because that way you get a lot finer control than trying to use a brush. And you got to do a couple of layers to make sure it gets
Why are you doing the red?
Well, because if I put the red on and then tried to put the turquoise green on top of it, it would be brown. And if I tried doing it the other way, putting the turquoise on and then putting the red on, it would be brown. So this way I can get the red, and I'm planning on having more areas turquoise, so it
Yeah,
made more
so you
sense
did
to do it the lesser one first. Yeah.
So you're going to start working on the
Filling it.
waxing.
Yeah.
So you're going to cover up those parts you've colored.
Yeah. Without going outside. It's okay if I don't get the whole area that's colored, but it's less okay if you go outside, because then you end up with white.
What, that blue one is the medium
Is
size.
the medium size one, yeah. Since these are like little blobby shapes rather than lines, it seemed that it would be the best size to, and the bigger one is really for filling in big spaces. It really blobs a lot.
Yeah, the small one takes much longer. The fine one.
Yeah.
Decorated it with roosters crowing at the sun, and so I marked out the wax lines, which are sort of outlining spaces in the design, and they're going to end up as white lines because they were put directly onto the egg. And now I'm going to do my yellow parts, which will be the beak and legs of the bird and the sun and the sun rays. And then I'm going to, I think, dip it in turquoise blue, and that will make kind of a blue-green color behind the chicken. And so it's going to be quite difficult because I'm going to be filling in negative spaces. So, and I also have to at this point also cover up the parts that are going to be red, the cock's comb and wattle. So I think I'll probably just paint the red on so that it will be underneath as a sort of part of the yellow layer. So my black chickens are crowing at the sun, and because I covered such a large area with the wax, before I dipped it into the black, it's come out more like a batik with some little scratchy areas because it doesn't fill it in completely. So I don't think I'm going to do this again. I think I'm going to do the traditional thing where the image is not black, but the image is one of the colors, and the black is used to isolate, much like in Jennifer's here. Well, I treated just a little bit with this and tightened up the design and clarified it a little by the method of using a black felt pen to just, you know, sharpen up some of the black parts. I put a central line through to distinguish the different petals of the flower, and took away some of the uneven edges of the little, I don't know what they are, sticking out parts, and in the eyeball circle type things too. I used the felt pen technique with this too to cover up some little mistakes and make the sun shape much more distinct. I always make a point also of putting my name and the date on everyone, because some of the eggs that we've done go all the way back into the 70s, and it's nice to know who made it and when.